Hello all, I'm Kishore DS and my roll number is 19BCE 1460. I'm going to explain a particular topic of Bitcoin which is more relatable to your practical lives too. And the topic is hard fork and soft fork. Considering that you would have a few prior knowledge on what a Bitcoin is and what is the system, what is the cryptocurrency system. So let us jump into the introduction. So generally, let us relate this topic to a practical life. Suppose you are starting a bakery in the street that you are living. The bakery won't remain same after 10 years, right? You would have certain improvements done. You would have certain alterations done. You will obviously have certain updates done so that you keep the bakery running properly and stick on to the time. You'll have to run along with the time, right? You'll have to put a lot of updates. This applies to any software that is being deployed. You get new Android versions every now and then. So updation is something more crucial for any software system that is being deployed. So the same applies to blockchain too, the blockchain or cryptocurrency technology also. So in reality, considering the complexity of the blockchain software system, that is the cryptocurrency software system, it is really difficult because there is every possible. It's impossible to assume that every node, that is the every miner, that is every node present prevailing within the blockchain software system, that is the blockchain system in the peer-to-peer network, would not upgrade. If you launch upgrade, you cannot expect every node to upgrade to that level. So obviously there are going to be failures and certain discrepancies when you try to upgrade your system, because every nodes would not easily upgrade to the newer version. There are every chance that most of the nodes use the older version too and stay stagnant because the system is more complex, and any upgrade would definitely take a lot of time to come up. Every update you launch, the user would not come up so easily to the upgraded level. So those we obviously face certain challenges, right? These we can differentiate between two types of changes, like when you launch a change, the nature of the changes in the software, the consequences that it creates can be categorized. We can differentiate between two types of changes: those that would cause a hard fork and those that would cause a soft fork. The soft fork and hard fork are the problems, like situations that are caused by any upgrade, any change. So let us jump into the next slide. Let us see a brief introduction on what a hard fork is. It is one type of change that we can make. We can, whenever we introduce a new feature, this obviously happens. What is it? Suppose you are the newer version that you launch could recognize blocks as valid that the old software would reject. That is, you are making the system more lenient. When the system is lenient, obviously the new system is going to accept few blocks that are rejected by the old software. Like the old software rejects few blocks because of certain constraints not being followed, whereas the new system, new update is accepting those blocks. So what happens is old block keeps on rejecting every incoming, and the new block keeps on accepting. So the old block would not get a feedback that the new block is rejecting something. So suppose you consider a real life scenario for this too. Let us take a case of a person using a tape recorder. And you know that the person is living in a place where he has no access to technology. So he remains with that tape recorder itself. Whereas in a place where there is higher exposure to technology, it would get updated. But the old tape recorder user would remain there itself. Let us consider there are 50 users. They would be separate using the tape recorder itself, because they cannot use a tape recorder cassette into an advanced technology that is being updated here. So this creates a split up, and they split up into two chains. They are separate. So same happens here. The old nodes never are, if the old nodes don't upgrade to the new version, they are going to remain separate, and there are going to be formation of two different chains, and they are never going to come under a single chain. And considering whenever a block is rejected, the older chain would assume that it is the longest chain. Usually, a block is validated in a longest chain, and a longest chain is considered valid. And what will happen is the old block itself would think that it is the longest chain, and it would remain as it is. And the new block is the actual new longest chain, and it would accept all the invalid blocks that are rejected by the old block, leaving the old block without any feedback. This leads to formation of two chains, and they are going to remain as it is forever. So this is considered unacceptable by the community, since the old nodes would effectively be cut out of the Bitcoin network. As I said, it would be a separate chain, and if they don't upgrade their software, because if they don't upgrade their software, they would become two separate chains. So let us go into softworks or soft forks on the other hand. So soft forks, it's a second type of change that we can that we can make to Bitcoin, is to add features that make validation rules stricter. That is, the new rules are going to be stricter, and a block that is being validated, that is considered valid, considered valid in the old situation, that is the old rule set of rules by the old blocks, are not going to be considered valid by the new set of rules. So that is, the new chain would be formed, a new blockchain would be formed. The new blockchain is formed out of new upgraded blocks, new upgraded nodes. The upgraded nodes would reject a block that is considered to be valid by the old block. Here comes the situation, we are all updated to, let us compare this with a practical scenario too. We are all upgraded to what? Paytm, and all modes of online transactions. This can be taken as a practical example for a soft fork, because the cards are still valid, but you have upgraded to Paytm because that is accepted more. The acceptance is more, and these cards are rejected in small petty shops, but the Paytm is accepted. So you upgrade to Paytm, Google Pay, Phone Pay, whatever. So let us come to this thing, the soft forks in terms of Bitcoin. So the old blocks would accept few blocks, the old nodes would accept few blocks that would be rejected by the new updated system. So the new updated system, when the new updated system rejects, the old block comes to know that it has been rejected by the new block. So this is a positive thing of the soft fork. So when it comes to know that that is rejected by the new chain, it will obviously, what it would do, it would try to update itself so that it makes proper validations according to the new set of rules, because it is getting a feedback that the blockchain has been updated. But in the hard fork scenario, the old blockchain would not get a feedback, because it is rejecting something which is being accepted by the new chain. So it would not get a feedback, right? So whatever it rejected, it is whenever it rejects, it is not going to give a damn to the block that it has rejected. That would be accepted by the new block. So in this scenario, so what is the positive of the soft fork is, whenever it gets a feedback, it is going to update. Another positive is, since the old set of the new set of rules would the new set of rules would reject a block, would accept a block in few circumstances. The new set of rules would validate a block and take it into the chain, which is also going to be approved by the old block. So both the blocks, if they remain on the same chain, when this is not going to be a problem. Suppose there is an old block and a new block in a chain, and the new block that is coming for validation, the old node and new node would have certain similar rules, so that the new block that is arriving is accepted by both of the old and new, which is the case, which is also a positive note in this soft forks, because even though the old and new node have variations in few set of rules, there are certain common rules that would help in accepting a new block. So that is also another positive. So let us look at few examples of soft forks, practically implemented examples. So we can see that P2SH, which was not present in the older version, P2 script hash, which was not present in the old version, is now was now is now accepted completely. Its introduction caused a soft fork basically, because the old node, a valid P2SH transaction would still verify correctly. So, as interpreted by the old nodes, the script is simple. It hashes one data value and checks whether the hash matches with the value specified in the output script. So it is obviously going to validate it and accept it. Old nodes don't carry the additional step of running that, as I said before, when a old node and a new node remains on the same chain also, it is not going to cause a problem. And a node which is valid is going to be accepted at few scenarios, which applies here in the P2SH also. So additional step of running that value itself to see whether it is a valid script. So we rely on new nodes to enforce the new rules. The script that actually like redeems that this transaction is going to be applied to the old node also. So possibly there, let us see if you possible another possible thing that can be done using soft focus, coin-based formatting. We know that Coinbase is not being constrained. That is, any node can give any miner can give their own Coinbase on different formats. What if we restrict the format of Coinbase? So still a few nodes would be accepted, right? So slowly, still the few nodes would be accepted. So like the old nodes that aren't updated would also be accepted. And few transactions, few blocks would be validated by the old as well as new nodes. So that is another possible case that can possible updation that can be done using considering the soft fork when it comes to the soft fork. So a few examples of hard forks are, so fixing the bug that where the multi-signature instruction pops an extra value of the stack. Like we have an extra value that is being popped out of the stack during doing multi-signature. That can be, despite that it is an annoying bug. It is much easier. Like if removing that would be a really big, would really cause a big hard fork that is going to adversely affect the blockchain system. So in order to avoid the hard fork, it can be like left as it is. Like the bug, leaving the bug would be much better than removing the bug in this case, because it is going to tremendously affect the system by causing a big hard fork. So other few are like adding new outputs to the Bitcoin would also cause a hard fork, and changing the limits on block or transaction size would obviously would cause a hard fork. So the conclusion is, despite the challenges in the hard fork causing updates, so then there are new cryptocurrencies coming up. Like Bitcoin is somewhat older, so then there are many new cryptocurrencies coming up. These cryptocurrencies are what they are doing is they are considering the drawbacks that have been there, the hard forks and soft fork problems that have been there in the prevailing system, and what they are doing is when they start from the scratch, they are considering these issues and developing a blockchain and developing a cryptocurrency system. Their cryptocurrency system is like they are inferring from the error, and they are trying not to include these things that are causing the hard fork and stuff like that. So any cryptocurrency that would be built in the near future could be like possibly built considering all the drawbacks, as I said, and the updates can be implemented occasionally as they develop. So so that's all about hard fork and soft fork. Hope you understood the concepts of hard fork and soft fork better. Thank you. And this is once again I'm saying that this is Kishore DS. My roll number is 19BC 1460. Thank you. Thanks a lot for listening and your patience.